Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them, that's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Invited them on my property, and I'm not showing that I'm scared. I'm just walking, because if you run and you show fear, that's signs of acknowledgement. I'm going to show you around our haunted property. You might notice that it's daylight in the background. This video is going to be longer than my normal ones. And you've heard me tell tons of scary stories about things that have happened on my property. So today, I'm going to take you to those spots and give you some insight on what I was talking about and where it all happened. Now, this can get a little spooky. For context here, for the people who don't know, my wife is Native American. We live on the Seminole Indian Reservation in Seminole, Oklahoma. Creepy stuff out here has happened. I will not say the names of these creatures, these spirits, or entities, because that invites bad juju. The last time I did a video where I said the names of the entity, the next morning, our dog died. Our 13-year-old dog died the next morning, and the day before, he seemed completely normal. So I will not invite that bad energy by saying their names. I'm simply going to say where something happened, and I'm going to say what happened. Our property has a wild history. This property was built in the 1930s. And in the 1930s, when it originally opened, it was a blackberry farm. So you will see blackberry bushes everywhere on this property, which tons of animals love to eat, including what I think happened in this event, which was a Bigfoot. Now, it was a blackberry farm in the 1930s. It then later became a schoolerage, which means it was a school out in the middle of nowhere that housed only maybe 10 to 12 kids when they came to school here. After that, it was turned into a general store. That's why we have this crazy huge front window, because that used to be a sliding door where people could drive through and get general dry goods. After that, it became a residential property. So this is the first event we're going to talk about with the Bigfoot situation. Okay, see this pole barn? This pole barn was built in 1939. Now you can see that I've obviously redone some things. So there used to be a door right there and a door in those trees. These are all persimmon trees. These are a type of fruit tree. So there used to be a door right there. This leads into my yak pen, where my yak June lives with a bunch of goats. So I've tried to re-stabilize this barn and put extra joist in, but when we first moved here, this property was pretty much unused. People lived in the residential home, but the property back here was completely overgrown and really almost looked like a hoarder property. There was this pole barn was full, top to bottom, of just junk, okay? So out of this door right here, we had a viral video where it was going to snow the night before. It was going to snow overnight. So I was coming out here, I was feeding the animals real late, and out of this barn wasn't clear of junk yet. Our yak didn't live in there yet. We had just moved here, and we were still fixing up a lot of the property. We didn't have very many animals here. And I kept hearing like some kind of noise roaming around in there, and I kept like getting this overwhelming sensation that something was watching me from this barn. And I thought, hey, it's probably raccoons. It could be a bear. There's bears in this area. That could be something. I'm just going to leave it alone. We'll find out in the morning, because it was dark. I was having to use a flashlight to walk around. Well, it hadn't snowed yet, but it was about to. It was real cold. And sure enough, that night it snowed like crazy. And when I came out here, there was footprints only leading away from this barn. I'll put the photos of the footprints in the video here. But there was footprints leading away from this barn. And the barn, they were going down this way, and they went past that tree and down into those woods. And as you can tell, it is just woods and woods and woods and woods as far as you can see. These strides were like, I was having to do a full split to be able to reach the next stride. And after talking to people in the area, they seemed to think that a Sasquatch was probably taking shelter in our pole barn to wait out that winter storm. It had probably been using this pole barn for a long time, because they knew no one was ever back here. It was abandoned. And there was, like I said, blackberries and different types of fruits that are routinely here. So it would make sense for this to be a perfect traveling path for a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch to go relatively unnoticed. If you didn't know it, for quite a while now, I've been working on this project of building my own house for me and my family. And only a couple people have helped me on this project. So I've done most of this work, myself and with like one other guy. So we've been out here a lot. So I've been spending a lot of late nights out here. So I want to show you, I don't even know what anomaly this would be. People have described like Glimmerman, and I don't care to say that one because that's not like a Native American thing, but Glimmerman and like shimmer people or devices, because this was in the trees. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Okay, this was truly freaky. So don't judge my carpentry. I know I'm not perfect. So Anyhow, we're gonna go up these stairs. My brother-in-law made and welded these stairs, by the way. He's an amazing welder. His name's Milam DeFries. He's got a bright future. Only 17 years old, he welded these stairs. So anyhow, it was out this window right here, okay? So I'm out here working late at night, and it actually gotten dark, and we had some lights out here. From here, you can see the foxes. There's some of our precious babies. But anyhow, I had let the light on. So anyhow, see these trees way out there? Okay. So there's one of our deer down there. So anyhow, I can't pinpoint which tree it was. I think it was this one right here. Oh, it was definitely that one, because that's that big one. That's the biggest tree out there. So this tree right here, this top, I don't even know how to point at it, but anyhow, this top square of this tree was like blurred out, and I don't know how to describe that, because like it wasn't fully dark out yet. I could actually still see pretty good outside. It was just dark enough where I needed a light inside, so I could see that tree perfectly fine. It was just a little darker than it is now. But the whole, like, there was like a whole, probably 6 by 6 square that was completely blurred out. Like literally, like when you see something censored, and it, like when somebody's faces want to be hidden on the news, and it's blurry, it was literally like a blurry spot on the tree. I looked at it for the longest time. I was like, what the hell am I looking at right now? And I didn't even think about it being supernatural at the time. And I was like, well, that is so weird. I was like, what is going on? Like, I thought it was some kind of optical illusion. So I went to tell my wife about it, and, you know, because she's like just right outside. And when we get back up there, the tree looks completely normal. No lighting had changed. The lantern thing that we had set out was in the exact same spot. I mean, the sun couldn't have moved. It was literally like 30 seconds. Nothing really changed. Yet the blurred out spot was the same. And when you hear about, like, you know, the Predator movies where he had this cloaking device, people talk about Glimmerman or Shimmerman. If you want to look that up and go down that rabbit hole. And some people think it's a real supernatural event. Some people also think that it's some kind of military testing device, and they often just go hang around places to see if people can notice them, to see if the device is like working properly. And then other people think it's like aliens, and that's how they cloak themselves, and we don't see aliens very often. And that's how they think they can cloak their ship too. Wild rabbit hole if you want to go down the Glimmerman or Shimmerman theories. But that whole part of the tree was distorted, and it didn't make any sense. I still don't really fully understand what I was looking at that night. It was the only time I've ever had anything like that in my life happen. So I'm losing daylight pretty quick, so I'm going to get through some of this kind of fast. So when I was having to redo this pole barn, I was trying to reset the post and kind of sturdy it up some, because this pole barn, like I said, is built in 1939. So I was redoing this pole barn, kind of resetting it. And anyhow, if you know what the LPs are in Native American folklore, the little, you know that they like to play tricks, or they like to take things that don't belong to them, or they like to try to help. There's a lot of different ways this can be looked at. A lot of people look at it very sinister to kids. If you see blue lightning bugs on your property, it's them. We can't see them the way they really are. Only like a medicine man or a shaman can see them the way they really are. We see them as blue lightning bugs or blue lights, but it's the LPs. And they play tricks on a lot of people. On older people, are known to lure and take kids. But anyhow, I couldn't find my hatchet one day for like a long time, like for over a year. Like I bought a new hatchet, and, you know, whatever, left it alone. And I'd been working on this pole barn, just restarting this up. And one day a storm took part of the roof off, so I was going to replace some of the roof. Now look at this. It's not there anymore, obviously. Let me climb up here a little bit. All right. But right here, like, so these are the new panels on the right side, but the old panels are right here. My hatchet was right there on those panels. Why my hatchet was there, I don't know. There's no reason for it to be up there. I would have never taken it up there myself. No one here would have been touching my tools and throwing my hatchet up there. You know, it's too heavy for like some kind of rodent or something to pick it up and carry it away. Because, like, weirdly enough, I've had screws go missing, then I find screws like in like a little mouse hole and stuff. But this is a big hatchet. You know, it's a big steel hatchet. Now here is where I'm going to talk about what's called the black dog phenomenon. Have you guys ever heard about the black dog phenomenon? Tons of people used to believe that when you had a cemetery or a graveyard or a burial site, that the first person that was buried there would have to protect that property forever. Well, if you go down the hill from us, like literally less than a quarter mile away, there's a big cemetery that's been there that is so old that some of the gravestones actually don't even have anything wrote on them. And they're built like partially above ground. Super creepy. So people used to bury dogs at a cemetery first. So in particular, a big black dog, that was like the trend back a long time ago. Look that up. And that black dog would supposedly protect the property. Now we're going to walk down this trail, and I'm going to tell you where I had an encounter with what I think was either a black dog or a ghost dog. So I'm going down this little trail right here. Now this is like a sheep and goat trail. So you can see some of my sheep hanging out down there by the pond. There's a big pond down there. Okay. Now at the time, this fence right here that I'm about to walk up on did not exist. So we've got this pretty little oasis area, and then we got this fence that wasn't there, right? And see this trail that goes up right over here. Here's the pond to my left. Now I was walking down to that fence back down there that did exist, and this was not here. As I get over this hump, there used to be a bunch of bushes right here. And I mean, literally right in front of me, just right in front of me. I'm getting these crazy dogs, and I'm like, I jump back, like it's dark. I've got a headlamp out of here. I have to come out here at night all the time. I do checks on the animals throughout the night. Animal care does not stop. It goes 24/7. So I'm like jumping back. I'm like, what? There's a dog on me? Like, because I can tell by the bark, it's not one of my dogs. Wolves can't bark really, so they don't, or at least they're not like a dog. So I knew it wasn't one of our wolves that had like accidentally got out somehow or something. And I mean, just right in this area, like right here, just wow, 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 wow. Just, and I mean, it was sounding like it was right on me. And I'm shining the flashlight around. I'm looking around. I don't see nothing. And, I'm going to hold my ground though, because my animals are out here. And if it is some kind of wild dog or stray dog or something, I don't want to get my chickens and ducks or, my emus are back there walking up right now. You can see one of my emus walking up from way back there. That gate's open for him to come up here. He probably sees me, so he's going to come hang out. So anyhow, I jump back and I'm looking around and I'm ready to fight this thing. I've got that big mag light, and I was like, I'm going to clock this fool. And the barking seemed to be right in front of me, but I never saw an actual dog. And this carried on for like 5 seconds. And 5 seconds doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're out here and it's pitch dark and there's nobody else around to help you, 5 seconds, I mean, you're talking 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, of just in your face, loud, like ringing your ears barking. And I just kind of backed up. I scooted it back down and, I ducked into these trees and I took off that trail. My house is just literally right there. And what's funny is our bedroom is right there at that corner. And if we ever hear our dogs barking out here, we can hear it from our bedroom. My wife said she actually never heard any barking, and there was no TVs on in the house or anything. It was pretty late. And she said she never heard the barking. When this happened, this is a very key part of the detail. When this happened, I was actually on the phone. My cousin works the night shifts, and I was actually talking to my cousin on the phone walking out here. And he heard the barking. He was like, what is that? Like, so he heard it. My wife didn't. Of course, she's further away. But my cousin heard it. I heard it. This is all mud right through here because of that pond in the runoff. There was no dog tracks. I couldn't find a trace of a dog. None of my animals were hurt or injured or missing. And all I can think of is that was the black dog. That was the guardian black dog. So I saved the scariest one for last. I'm going to do another video of inside my house, okay, of the things that have happened inside the home. But this is the scariest one that happened outside. And the inside the house, there was a lady that died right in my living room, okay? This was in the 90s, but like one of our friends in town is an EMS worker, and they were like, yeah, that was one of my first jobs I ever had to do was take that old lady out of your house. So anyhow, the scariest thing that happened is down this trail. So there's my coyotes. This is what we call the predator corner. We have coyotes right here. There's bobcat back behind them. There's wolves over here on this right side. And now we have 2 layers of fencing separating the deer. The deer have range of the whole back part of the property. So at the time, I was out here feeding what's called a quadrumundi, which is a member of the raccoon family. These coyotes are wrestling and playing. What are you doing, little cuties? What are you doing, little cutie babies? Are you good babies? Are you good babies? Now, guys, all of our animals are surrendered pets or rescued animals that we don't take anything from the wild. That's Wiley and Molly, my little cutie babies. All right. So anyhow, I was feeding those animals right over there. And then I had to feed the wolves, which there's one wolf door right here. And the other wolf door is way down this trail. Okay. Now you can see that flies are coming up. So anyhow, I've got a full bucket of meat, mind you. And at nighttime, it's pitch black out here. And it was in the wintertime, so it gets dark really early, like at 5 o'clock, it was dark out here. So I'm walking down this trail. And, it's pretty narrow. This is only about a 4 to 5 foot span. Oh, you can already hear the wolves growling. So anyhow, I'm walking down through here, and we keep the wolves in the back corner to keep coyotes off the property. They won't come on this side of the property because these wolves down here, and they protect the deer. Our wolves are actually pretty good buddies with our deer, which there's one of the deer right there. So anyhow, I'm walking down here. Now see this big cedar tree? This is the scariest the scariest creature in Native American folklore. I witnessed it right here, and I'm not going to say its name. I'm just going to tell you it starts with a ST. STI is the first 3 letters. So I'm down here feeding these wolves. And I hear this. There's some little kids playing. There's a school right across the street. It's K through 12. There's only like 400 kids in the whole thing. So I'm down here at this corner, or right here at this door, and out of this corner, these two big owls fly down out of these trees back there, and they land right on the other side. You can see that T-post. That's where my property ends, right there. And they land right on the other side of that fence. And these owls, these two big owls, were huge. I mean, massive. And I'm just looking at them. I'm like, what the hell? There's some of my donkeys and my horses. She's eating some of the vines off the fence. And I'm like, what is that? You know, and then I remember what my wife has told me about this, you know, the worst thing you can mess with and the most evil thing in Native American folklore. And I'm seeing what I think is them in their animal form right there. And they're trying to get my attention. Now, they have a lot of power over you when you give them attention. And I'm trying to walk away and just kind of ease back up this trail. But I'm not wanting to turn my back and run, so I'm walking backwards, you know, and they're trying to get in my line of contact. So they keep trying to get in front of me. So they keep walking down this way, and they keep going, rah, 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 and they're trying to get in front of where my eyes are looking. Like, I'm trying not to look at them. And they go all the way to about that cedar tree. And I judge by how tall they were against that cedar tree. They were probably about 3.5, 4 foot tall. So I just start I just imagine they're over my shoulder right now by that cedar tree. And I'm just trying to walk back up here like nothing's going on. And they're just, wah, wah. And the further I'm getting, the louder they're becoming. But I have not invited them on my property. And I'm not showing that I'm scared. I'm just walking. Because if you run and you show fear, that's signs of acknowledgement.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
I'm not going to turn around. I'm going to keep walking. And we're going to end this video. Because I told you my dog died the next morning after I said their name. Because saying their name invites them. So I'm just walking back up here. And we definitely didn't hear anything just then. And pretty much you're getting a live recreation of what was going on. And I just calmly walked back up to the house, and I was trembling. I had goosebumps like I do right now. And I'm never going to talk about that again. I said I would never talk about them again, but I just told myself as long as I wouldn't say their name, it's okay, but I'm never talking about them ever again. In that back corner, the reason why I think it happened in that back corner is there's an old house back there that's destroyed. All you can see is a roof. And I truly think whatever that house was, or whoever was in that house, was purely evil. And it's not on our property. It's right over the fence in the back corner in those back corners of the woods. There's a house just, 5 foot off our fence post in the corner. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to remember to do my shout out. Watch our podcast. It's called Matt, M-A-T-T, from Nomads. Matt from Nomads. Spotify, Apple Podcast.